So how do you celebrate Mother's Day during a pandemic? It's a little bit of a strange year. Did a little history search on Mother's Day and found out that it was started in 1908 by a woman named Anna Jarvis. Anna Jarvis wanted to honor the work of Christ in her mother's life. Her mom was a Christian woman. She was a peace activist. She served during the Civil War and served soldiers on both sides of the conflict. And so in 1908, she held a service in a little Methodist church in West Virginia and also started Mother's Day clubs to further the work of Christ in her community. And the retailers and the marketers got a hold of this idea and they took it and ran with it, and it became an instant commercial success. A number of years later, Anna Jarvis started to protest Mother's Day because it didn't really capture the spirit of what she had intended. It became about a sentimental celebration of mothers, chocolate and flowers and Hallmark cards and all of the kinds of things that we do today to honor our moms was never her intent. And so as I thought about this in terms of Mother's Day during this season, I'm not suggesting that, you don't call your mom or send her chocolate or flowers, whatever you do for her on Mom's Day. I think that's great. But one of the things I want to challenge you with is to think in terms of the women in our congregation or in our midst, or perhaps even women throughout history who have been passionate, faithful followers of Jesus. And the way to really capture or recapture, I think, the spirit of Mother's Day is to honor those women who are passionate, devoted followers of Christ and emulate the work and the character that they've developed in their lives that reflect Jesus. We have women in our church. I think of some in our church who are tremendous prayer warriors. And I think those of us, perhaps, or those who are a little bit younger, would look at those women and recognize the work of Christ in their lives and emulate those works. So somebody who's a prayer warrior, you might look at them and say, I want to emulate that characteristic in my life, and begin to do that. That honors the character of that person and the work of Christ in their life, and it also furthers the work that they deemed were important. There are women who serve in our church. You would want to honor them by committing yourself to service. There are women in our church who are involved in our community. You would want to honor them by involving yourself in the community. There are women in our church who are gifted evangelists. Everywhere they go, they share Christ with people. You would want to honor them by emulating the work that you see Jesus doing in their life and through their life. That's the way that you honor the work of God in the lives of women. And so while I'm not suggesting that you just totally abandon any kind of, Mother's Day stuff that you've gotten used to that's been of value to your family, one of the things that I would want to challenge you with this year in particular, and perhaps for years to come, is to really capture the spirit of Mother's Day by recognizing the work of Christ in women and their work in the name of Christ in the church and in the community. Have a great Mother's Day, everybody.